Hey guys, it's Brent, and I'm back, finally, with another 80s album retrospect. And you can tell by the title, the album that I'm going to be reviewing today, I'm going to be reviewing this monster of an album right here, Motley Crue's Shout at the Devil. Let's get right into it. So I want to tell you a little bit about the album, and first off I want to talk about how this album, I'll go ahead and say out front that how influential this album was to me, and how this album just kind of blew me off my feet when I heard it. And but before I get too much into that, I want to give a little history about the album. Of course, you know, this is Shout at the Devil. Everybody who's anybody knows about this album. This was their second album, released after Too Fast for Love. It was released on September 26, 1983, and it was recorded and produced by Tom Werman, and it was recorded from April to July of 1983, and it had the singles Looks That Kill and Too Young to Fall in Love. But Looks That Kill was an actual single with Piece of Your Action on the back, and everybody remembers that video. It's an iconic video, and they even recreated it almost shot for shot in the dirt. In the dirt, that's how iconic it was. And then Too Fast for Love would Take Me to the Top on the back of it. And I think it's really weird that they stuck Piece of Your Action and Take Me to the Top from their previous record as B-sides on the back of the singles for those songs. And so Too Young to Fall in Love, that's an iconic video as well. Like I said, this album was a breakthrough for them. It sold 200,000 copies in its first 2 weeks. And Motley Crue started touring for this album before it even really came out. They played the US Festival, or the US Festival. They played that. They opened for Kiss on the Creatures tour, and they were on that tour with Kiss. Very briefly, they only played 5 shows together before Gene Simmons demanded they be replaced because they had quote-unquote bad behavior. And then they just blew up. This is literally the album that made them blow up. The next album, Theater of Pain, is the one that kind of lunged them into commercial success. It had Smoking in the Boys' Room on it and Home Sweet Home. Of course, Home Sweet Home was so popular and it was requested so much that MTV eventually banned the video from being requested. So, but that would bring them to that next level. I think if Motley Crue would have stayed with this, the whole pentagram and satanic thing, and even though it pushed them ahead and made them big, just because of all the controversy with Tipper Gore and all the stuff that was going on. This is one of the albums that probably helped get the parental advisory that's on albums now. This is one of the albums that probably helped do that. Because, I mean, it even says, you could tell they were just trying for that. Because it's got the pentagram on the album. And this is sealed, but I'm going to open it here in a little bit. And then on the back here it says, warning, caution, this recording may contain backwards messages. I mean, and it's got the pentagram again on the back. And like the whole cover is like a matte finish except for the pentagram. It's like glossy. And it's just, there's a cool picture on the back of the band. And the gatefold, I have the gatefold version of this. And the gatefold inside of here is badass. If you've never seen it, I'm going to show it to you in just a little bit. So that's basically what I have as far as, history of the album and stuff like that. I know that Motley Crue, just from what I've heard, they were wild and rebellious on this. And poor Tom Werman, he had, issues with Nikki Sixx, being able to stay on time. They were having to drag the guys in and out of the studio. He was having to tape together takes to get a finishable product. The guys were already in pretty bad shape at this point in time. But me being a 14-year-old kid, when this came out, I didn't know. I didn't care. I just knew that this album was badass, and they reminded me of Kiss, which Kiss was a big influence to them. So this album to me, when I was 14 years old, it blew me away. I remember when this album came out because Kiss had just put out Lick It Up. And, Lick It Up was coming on the heels of Creatures, which I really loved. I loved Creatures. I loved Lick It Up. I liked Creatures better than Lick It Up, but Lick It Up was still a good album. And MTV was in that, Kiss had their really iconic videos for Lick It Up. All Hell's Breaking Loose was very iconic and very parallel to Too Young to Fall in Love. There's some areas in there that were very parallel if you watch the videos. But just before this album came out, Lick It Up came out. So then Lick It Up came out and Shout at the Devil came out. And I knew Shout at the Devil was coming out because I'd already seen the US Festival or the US Festival earlier in the year. And I knew who Motley Crue was. And so I was looking forward to this album. So I'm going to quit rambling on and I'm just going to open the damn album. How about that? Because that's what you guys want to know, hopefully. You want to see this album opened up and you want to hear what I think about the songs that's on this album. So let me get out my knife. Let me open this album up. I was almost about to say that this is the first sealed album I've ever opened on my channel, but it's not, because I've also opened more recently Bohemian Rhapsody, which was a new release, and the Record Store Day reissue of Bloody Kisses from Typo Negative. But it's been a long time since I've done it, and I've had this album for a while, and I've kind of been waiting to open it, and I'm drawing it out. Some of you are getting pissed off, right? Okay, I'm just going to open it. All right, let's do this. There we go. There we go. All right. And down the side. Down the side. And there we go. All right. So, shrink wrap off. This thing's been sealed for a few years. It's funny because it's been sealed and it actually, in being sealed, has ring wear. This is why I take my albums out of the case. But you see there, I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, but that's glossy there where the pentagram is. And on the back, it's glossy too where the pentagram is. And then when you open it up, oh yeah. Yeah, man, it's just as awesome as I remember it. So this is what it looks like. So this is what it looks like on the inside. You have Vince Neil and Nikki. And then you have Tommy and Mick. And I'm trying to get it in there where you can see all of it. It's hard to do this and be able to see because I can't see the camera very well. Yeah, if you've never seen this, it's just awesome. Really, really, really awesome. I like it a lot. So, like I said, there's nothing in here. It's just closed up. And then we open it up. And I remember this. I remember this was just so badass. And I had a drum set at the time. And it was a CB600 drum set, cheap drum set. And I had a white cover on it. And I remember I took my drum head off. Took my bass drum head, the front bass drum head that was white. I took it off and I took masking tape and I made the pentagram and got red spray paint and spray painted the pentagram. My mom shit a brick. My mom was Church of God. So my mom had a cow when I had a pentagram on the front of my drum set. She didn't make me paint over it though. She was a pushover. That got me in a lot of trouble as I aged. But anyway, got the pentagram on that side, and on this side you've got credits and song lyrics. And then on the inside, it's going to be the Elektra. Well, it was originally Elektra, but now this is the Motley Records, and it's 180 grams, so it's a thick, heavy vinyl. So yeah, it doesn't wobble. So I'm shaking the whole house. But yeah, so it's really cool, really cool. Okay, so there. I've opened it. Now I can listen to it tonight. But let's talk about the songs, okay? So the first song on the album is In the Beginning.
Good always overpower the evils of all man's sins. But in time, the nations...
And In the Beginning is just this thing that Nikki Sixx wrote and had somebody read. And Jeff Workman wrote the music. I mean, it's not even... The only thing Nikki did was write the words. And it's really cool. I mean, it was really cool to hear that it was badass, because it was like... It almost kind of reminded me of the beginning of Gene's album. Gene's album had that piano and the lady something, you know, and the ding, 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 ding. It just kind of sounded like a horror movie. In the Beginning was kind of the same way. Did they borrow that from Gene? Who knows? I don't want to give them that much credit. I don't want to give Gene that much credit. But then the second track, the iconic Shout at the Devil.
He's a wolf screaming lonely in the night. He's a blood-stained on the stage. He's a tear when you eyes been tempted by his life. He's a knife.
Shout at the Devil to me is like, it's the title. And it is, to me, one of the best songs that Motley Crue ever wrote and ever performed. It's right up there to me with Looks to Kill as one of my... It's probably my top 10 favorite Motley Crue songs. One of these days I'll do a top 10. I'm probably not going to review all of Motley Crue's albums, but I will probably eventually make a top 10, my top 10 favorite songs. I can go ahead and tell you that Shout at the Devil is going to be in that list somewhere. Like I said, I remember this is one of the first songs I learned how to play drums to. I think I learned to play drums to every song on this album. And I don't know, I can't remember if there's a song on here that I do not like. So we'll find out as I go on. So we'll go on to track 2, Looks to Kill.
Well, you might not make it back. She's got the look that kill.
Now you have your two people. You have your people that like Looks to Kill, and you have your people that like Shout at the Devil. If somebody told me you can have Shout at the Devil or you can have Looks to Kill, you can only have one of them. Which one are you going to take? Me, I fall into the Shout at the Devil camp. But now if you fall into the Looks to Kill camp, that's fine too. I'm not saying it's not a good song. I love Looks to Kill. The video is fucking amazing. And it's one of those videos that's burned in my brain. I can hear that riff and I can see that video in my brain. But I don't like it as much as I do Shout at the Devil. But it is an iconic song. It's the song that, you know, almost everybody knows. I think more people, if you put 100 people in the room and play Shout at the Devil and play Looks to Kill, more people are going to know, general populace is going to know Looks to Kill more than they do Shout at the Devil. But to me, I like Shout at the Devil better. So we go on to track 3, Bastard.
Out go the lights, in goes my knife. Pull out his life. Consider that bastard dead. Get on your knees. Please, let me please.
Now let me tell you something. Being a little 14-year-old kid and having a song where I can scream, Bastard! I mean, that was just cool. It was cool to me. But just the beginning, that and that thing that Tommy does at the beginning, where he goes between the snare and the double bass, that's just awesome. I practiced that, and I still love doing that, where you alternate 2 notes between the tom and the bass. I still love that, and I do that all over my kit when I play. I love it. And that's one of the things, when I do that, I hear and see Tommy Lee in my head when I do it. But Bastard is just, I love how it comes in fast, and it's got that little solo at the beginning, and then it settles in that groove to, out go the lights, in goes my knife, pulls out his life, consider that bastard dead. You know, I love that. And when Vince says, please beg me, please, and Tommy does the on the bass drum, It's one of the things that I kind of adapted because what Tommy does, he's not the most technical drummer, but what he does is he plays not only to the music, but he plays to the lyrics too. And I really adopted that technique where I will play my drum beats along to the music, but I'll also let the lyrics and the rhythm of the lyrics affect my drum beat too, especially on the bass drum. So Bastard is, I probably like Bastard better than Looks to Kill. I love Bastard. It's a great song, great song. So let's go on to the next track, God Bless the Children of the Beast. God Bless the Children of the Beast is an instrumental. It's good. It's a guitar thing, you know. Me and instrumentals. You know, I'm listening to this thing and it's kind of cool and it's got the creepy ending. God bless the children of the beast. You know, it's like, you know, it's kind of creepy at the end of it. It's just one of those things that they put on there and, you know, they could have had it not. It's just one of those things to stick it in the side of the, oh, we're devil worshippers and that's going to sell us albums, you know. It could have been called We Like Eating Jelly Toast. You know, I mean, it could have been anything, but they made it God Bless Children of the Beast, you know. I don't know. I get through it so I can hear the next song, Helter Skelter.
I get to the top, well, I go for a ride. I get to the bottom and feel again. Well, feel again.
Now, here's how much of a previous 60s, 70s music fan that I was. I didn't know Helter Skelter was a cover song until I looked and saw, oh, Lennon and McCartney. Oh, wait a minute, that's the Beatles. But I think Motley Crue's version of Helter Skelter is badass. It's one of my favorite Motley songs. There's a lot of my favorite Motley songs on this album. Helter Skelter is one of them. Just the whole thing, the drums in this, and just the beginning where it's just Mick playing that note and just the bass and the drums, just that doom, 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 doom. I mean, through the whole first part of the verse, you know, it's just amazing. So simple, but cool. So I love Helter Skelter. So Helter Skelter wraps up the first side. Let's flip the final. First track on side 2, Red Hot. Red Hot was the first song that I ever played by a band that challenged me because of the double bass. I mean, it starts off with that and just, you know, awesome. I didn't have double bass at the time. So what I had to do to make double bass was I had to do one, I'm left-handed. So when I sat down behind a drum kit, you know, I played the hi-hat with my left hand and my snare with my right hand. And right-handers are the other way around. They play the hi-hat with their left hand, their right hand, they play their snare with their left. Now I've since learned to play open kit, so I can play both ways. I can sit down behind either drum kit and play either way. But so I started off playing this way on left-handed, and I didn't have double bass. So what I would do is I would do the 1, 2, 3, 4 on the floor tom, and I would do the and on the bass drum. So I was do 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 like that, and I'd do it that way, and that's how I did double bass, especially just that eighth note double bass, like, you know, Red Hot is. And I just worked my foot real. Tommy does a lot of bass drum flams. So if you had double bass, you just go. He does them a lot in this one where it's like that. I would just, a lot of times they'll do their 2 feet. They'll just go. I'd do my 1 foot, and so it got me really good at being very fast with my feet. So whenever I added another pedal, a bass drum pedal, which I think I didn't do for a couple years, maybe when I got my next drum kit when I was probably maybe pushing 16. I was a senior. I was a freshman in high school, so I was 16, or I was a sophomore in high school, I think. So I was 16. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But that's whenever I got a double bass and then joined jazz band and marching band, and I was a band geek. Yay! So Red Hot, I love playing drums on it. I like the song. I probably like this song as much as I like Looks to Kill, but I love the drums on Red Hot. So now we go to the next song, Too Young to Fall in Love. Too Young to Fall in Love was the second single off the album. It's the one that everybody knows. It's got the amazing video that everybody knows. It's not my most favorite song on the album. It's just something about it. I mean, it's just, I guess just because it's just basically on drums, it's just do, tap, do, tap, do, tap, all the way through it. It's kind of boring to play drumming wise. And this was a time whenever I was kind of really basing whether I liked the song or not on how cool the drums was. And that kind of still followed me along being an adult in a lot of ways. I factor a lot of different things in now. But that's still at my core, at my essence. So, Too Young to Fall in Love, honestly, other than God Bless the Children of the Beast, up to this point is probably my least favorite song. Now, don't throw jelly toast at your screen, but that's just it. That's what it was. It is what it is. But I'm not saying I don't like it. I like Looks That Kill and Red Hot better. So anyway, next track, Knock 'Em Dead Kid. Knock 'Em Dead Kid kicks ass. I love the attitude of this album and that whole 14-year-old kid, knock 'em dead, knock 'em dead. He'd say, knock 'em dead, kid. And then the background scene like, knock 'em dead. That's awesome. Great drums in it. Great music, great words. I love when it settles into when the verse, on the Star Spangled Fight, that rhythm it sets into. I heard a steel belted scream. I love that rhythm it just sets into. I love that. It's great. Knock 'Em Dead Kid knocks me dead. It's really good. I like it just as much as I do any other song on the album. Still not as good as Shout the Devil or Bastard, but it's still good. So let's go to the next song. We got 10 Seconds to Love. And that was really cheesy. But 10 Seconds to Love. Now this song, holy cow. I was a 14-year-old kid and, discovering the women folk and discovering, I had a weenie and it's got a use. 10 Seconds to Love. Great song. Oh, Here I Come. My mind is set. And this song is great. I love the drums in this song, even though it is just a lot of boom, tap, which is what I said I hated. What is it? Too Young to Fall in Love for? But it's different. I love when it breaks down and it's just the bass and that do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And Tommy's just boom, tap, boom, tap, boom. It fits. And that alone is fun. It's because you just go in your head. And I'm going to make some videos one of these days. Once I get my drum set kind of finished out, I'm going to set some cameras up and I'm going to do some covers of some of these things. And I want you to see, I'm going to play the songs that I have fun playing and watch me just smile the biggest, goofiest grin playing some of these songs just because it makes me feel good. And I go back to being a 13 and 14 and 15 and 16-year-old kid playing these songs. Those will come up sometime once I get this drum set fixed. So we're going to go to the last track of the album, Danger. Live to you from the wishing well. Me the made a pact. Live or die. Now, Danger, a lot of people love Danger. Me, not so much. Honestly, the only thing I really do like about Danger is the beginning, the little drum fills that Tommy Lee does, the drum fills he does, and where he does the triplets, You know, the last two he does on the bass drum, I thought that was really cool. It was a good transition to go down the toms and go and then hit the last 2 or 3 beats on your bass drum foot and then hit the tom and then hit the cymbal. That's a transition in my brain that I had to make, and I have Tommy in songs like this to thank for it. The rest of the song Danger, not so much a fan of. It's just, you know, that whole danger, da, 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 da. It's just kind of drudges a little bit to me, but I don't not like it. I can go ahead and say it now because I didn't want to say it too earlier and 10 Seconds to Love blow my load too fast. But I actually like every song on this album. I don't skip any of them. Even God Bless the Children of the Beast, I find an appreciation in it. And I like the way it works into the whole album because it does kind of bring you back. Oh, yeah, we're devil worshippers. But Danger is probably, it falls down there. It probably falls a little lower than Too Young to Fall in Love for me, even though it's got some really good parts to it. But it's probably my least favorite track on the album. But I would still score it above a 5, or at least a 5. And everything else, all these other ones, even though I wasn't getting my scores, they're scoring 7, 8s, and 9s. And 10, Shout at the Devil to me is a 10. It is the perfect, iconic, heavy metal, devil worshiping, bloodbath rock song that just puts it in your face, puts that whole attitude of rock in your face. And there's a lot of songs on this album that does that. Shout at the Devil, Bastard, Knock 'em Dead Kid, Helter Skelter, Red Hot. I mean, they're 10 Seconds to Love even. 10 Seconds to Love is grimy and nasty, and it kind of was a gateway type of song that would make me eventually love songs like off of L.A. Guns' first album. You know, that L.A. grunge, nasty Hollywood sleaze. It's like one of your first Hollywood sleaze type songs, 10 Seconds to Love is. So anyway, I love this album. This album is huge to me, and to this day is huge to me. This album gets a lot of airplay with me, and I rock the fuck out of my steering wheel with my drumming whenever I'm listening to this album going down the road. So I hope you enjoy this album as much as I do. Leave comments. Tell me what you think about this album, even if you hate it. If you disagree with me, I don't mind if you disagree with me. If you agree with me, be sure to put that too. If this is the first video you've seen by me, I've got others. If you go back, I've reviewed a lot of Kiss albums. You can tell I'm a big Kiss fan. Motley Crue were apparently big Kiss fans too, because it kind of looked like them on the back. And I reviewed some other 80s albums, retro albums, and I'm going to be doing more in the future, many more. Hopefully coming a little quicker. So if you like what you see here, be sure to leave a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, now and in the future, click subscribe, click the notification bell so you get notifications. I also do live streams and live feeds and stuff like that. And follow me on my social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Patreon. You can support me on Patreon if you'd like. I have exclusive stuff that comes out over on Patreon. And sometimes videos comes out early over there. So you can check out all those links at the end of this video if you like. But I'm Brant within my head channel. Thanks for joining me for another 80s album retrospective. I'm going to close this out. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.